In the last class, we have seen the properties of Fourier transform. In this class also, we will continue with that. So the next property is differentiation in frequency. Fourier transform of signal x of t is x of omega t into x of t. Fourier transform is j d by d omega x of omega. So the differentiation is there in the frequency domain, and then correspondingly we have multiplication in the time domain, because multiplication in one domain is differentiation in the other domain. So as we are doing differentiation in frequency domain, so there will be a multiplication, okay, with the variable in the other domain. So the variable in the time domain is t, so there is multiplication in the time domain with the original signal x of t. So in sometime the j will be taken here. So they used to give like this also. Sometime minus jt x of t gives d by d omega x of omega. Okay, both are same. So now we'll try to prove this. Okay, so differentiation in frequency gives the multiplication in time domain. Multiplication in time domain. Okay, prove. So the Fourier transform of the given signal is x of omega, that is integration minus infinity to plus infinite x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Okay. Then once if you introduce differentiation in frequency domain, then what happens to the time domain signal? So that we will differentiate this signal to get d by d omega x of omega. So d by d omega x of omega is equal to integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of t du by d omega e power minus j omega t then dt. Okay, so that means for the base equation we are applying differentiation. Okay, d by d omega x of omega. So the entire equation we are differentiation with respect to the variable omega. So again, this right hand side first consists of time domain. So time values, that means the x of t is function of time. So that again our differentiation will not affect this. So that's why we are taking the differentiation only to the e power minus j omega t, because this is the only term that consists of omega. All other terms are having only t. So when you differentiate with respect to omega, again t is like a constant. So that we are applying this differentiation only for this term. Okay, then if you proceed further, okay, d by d omega x of omega, the differentiation of this term, okay, different d by d omega e power minus j omega t will give you, okay, omega, so minus jt e power minus j omega t dt. Okay, then this j you can take out. Okay, minus j integral minus infinity to plus infinite. Okay, t into x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Again, this is d by d omega x of omega. If you take this minus j this side, that is plus j by d by d omega x of omega. Again, if you concentrate on the rest of the equation, integration, something is there into e power minus j omega t dt, then that means what? This is the Fourier transform pair with the signal tx of t. So whatever present here, that we'll call it as a signal, time domain signal. So this is the time domain signal. So if txt is there, then in the frequency domain you will get j d by d omega x of omega. Okay. Then the next property is conjugation property. Conjugation property. So the Fourier transform of x of t is x of omega. If you take complex conjugate in time domain, that means x of t is becoming x star of t. Then what is the corresponding Fourier transform pair? In the frequency domain, you have to apply star operation, and also you have to change the variable to minus omega. Wherever omega is there, you change it to minus omega, and also you apply overall star operation. Okay, it's like this star operation will affect only the imaginary part, but this is applicable to any omega, where the omega may be present in real term or maybe in imaginary term. So wherever omega is there, replace with minus omega, and also you apply the complex conjugate. Okay, then how to prove this? Proof: the Fourier transform of x of t is x of omega, that is integration minus infinite to plus infinite, minus infinite to plus infinite, x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Then you apply the conjugate on both sides. Apply conjugate on both sides. So that means we'll be getting x star of omega integral minus infinity to plus infinite x of t e power minus j omega t dt overall star. Okay, again, if you apply this star operation here, only this term is imaginary term. So only this minus j will become like plus j. And also we do not know what is the nature of the signal. The signal could be real or imaginary. Okay, it could be anything. That's why, so we'll apply that star operation directly here. Okay, if the signal is real, then again x of t, even if you apply star, that will become like x of t only, but we do not know what is the nature of the signal. So to be safer side, again that is x star of t. Okay, then e power j omega t dt, that means minus j will become like plus j if you apply the star operation. Then x star of omega, then wherever omega is there, replace with minus omega, replace omega by minus omega, then x star of minus omega integral minus infinite to plus infinite x star of t e power minus j omega t dt. Okay, if you concentrate on the right hand side, integration some signal e power minus j omega t dt, that means what? This is the basic formula of the Fourier transform. So that means you are taking the Fourier transform for x star of t. Once if you take Fourier transform for x star of t, you will be getting x star of minus omega, x star of minus omega. So finally x star of minus omega is equal to the Fourier transform of x star of t, x star of t. So the next property is duality. Duality property. So x of t, x of omega is the Fourier transform pair. Okay, then suppose the duality is like this: capital X of t is time domain signal, then what would be the frequency domain? That is 2 pi small x minus omega. Okay, so that means what? The whatever the shape is there, the same shape will be available in time domain. But whereas this shape x of t will become like x of minus omega. Here we are applying the time reversal. Okay, so when you come from here to here, you replace omega with t. When you replace t, you replace it with a minus omega, and also you put 2 pi here. Okay, so now these properties, okay, now first we'll try to prove these properties. Okay, then later we'll see one or two examples, then so that we can understand the importance of these properties. So proof. Okay, so the inverse Fourier transform formula small x of t is equal to 1 by 2 pi integration minus infinity to plus infinite x of omega e power plus j omega t d omega. So this is the inverse Fourier transform standard formula. Okay, so once if we know the frequency domain representation, then what is the corresponding time domain representation? For that we are using inverse Fourier transform formula. So 2 pi I can take here, that is 2 pi x of t integration minus infinity to plus infinite x of omega e power j omega t d omega. Then you replace t by minus t. You replace t by minus t. Replace t by minus t. Okay, then this t will become like minus t, and also here we'll put one minus. Okay, here we'll put one minus. So 2 pi x of minus t integration minus infinity to plus infinite x of omega e power minus j omega t d omega, or minus j omega t d omega. So if you see here carefully, okay, see, I'm not worried about what is there here, okay. But if you see the outer formula, so then replace t by omega and omega by t. Okay, so then 2 pi x of minus omega integral minus infinity to plus infinite, okay, x of p e power minus jp omega d omega. So if you carefully observe this, this is the Fourier transform of capital X of p. Fourier transform of the capital X of p, because instead of t, here we are having p. If t is there, again t will be here. So instead of t, here we are having p, because again already t is there. So that will make some kind of confusion. That's why I'm changing the variable like this. Okay, then this is 2 pi x of minus omega. Then I can simply replace, okay, I can simply replace p by small t, because we are compatible with the t. So Fourier transform of capital X of t is equal to 2 pi x 2 pi small x of minus omega. So that is our proof. Okay, so once if you have capital X of t, then in frequency domain 2 pi x of minus omega. So now we will see some examples based on this. Okay, say the question is like this: find Fourier transform of 1. Find Fourier transform of 1. Okay, already we know that what is the Fourier transform of 1, that is 2 pi del omega. So now that we'll try to get with help of duality principle. So already we know that the Fourier transform of 1 is equal to 2 pi del omega. So now we'll try to get the same answer with the help of the duality principle. Okay, so in general, the Fourier transform of del t is 1. Okay, so del t is time domain. So the corresponding frequency domain value is 1. So now what is our formula? If you are in x of t, then you can go to x of omega. Then capital X of t is equal to 2 pi small x of minus omega. So now I'm going to apply this principle now. Okay, so now if you bring that 1 this side, again here there is no variable. So if at all variable is there, we have to replace omega with respect with the t. Again there is no variable, so just I can bring this here. But when this del t goes here, I have to apply this concept. Okay, so first of all x of omega. Okay, so that means I have to replace t with omega. Then again instead of omega, I have to apply minus omega. Okay, so what is the concept? From x of t, you have to go to x of omega. Then from x of omega, you have to write x of minus omega. So that means if you apply that changes and all here, see del t is there. From that we can go to del omega. Again, that means x of omega. Then x of minus omega, that is del of minus omega is the answer. But we know that del of minus omega is del omega only, because del function is always even function. So this is del omega, and also we have to multiply with this constant 2 pi del omega. So that means what? The Fourier transform of 1 is 2 pi del omega. So with the help of duality also we can prove that the Fourier transform of 1 is 2 pi del omega, 2 pi del omega. So now we'll see some more example for duality principle. So the next example is Fourier transform of 1 by a plus jt. Okay, what is the Fourier transform of 1 by a plus jt? So if you carefully see this, already we have seen this shape in frequency domain. Okay, so in frequency domain, for some signal, we got the shape like this. Okay, so 1 by a plus j omega. So whenever the problem is like this, so that means here we have to apply the duality principle. So this shape we know already that is present in frequency domain. So what is its corresponding time domain signal? So in time domain signal, for e power minus at u of t, the Fourier transform pair is 1 by a plus j omega. Then we have to apply the duality. What is the duality? So omega we have to replace with the t. So a plus j t. Then 2 pi x of minus omega. So that is e power minus a minus omega. That means e power plus a omega, e power plus a omega. Again, t also we have to apply, that is u of minus omega. So the Fourier transform of 1 by a plus jt, Fourier transform 1 by a plus jt is equal to 2 pi e power a omega u of minus omega. Okay, u of minus omega. So then we'll see the next property. So next property is multiplication in time. Next property, multiplication in time. Okay, so already we know that the multiplication in one domain is convolution in the other domain. Already we have seen that when we do the convolution in time domain, we got the multiplication in the frequency domain. So now we are doing multiplication in time domain, so that we'll get the convolution in the frequency domain. We'll get the convolution in the frequency domain. So now we'll take the two signals. So the signal x of 1t as a Fourier transform pair of x1 of omega, x2 of t as the Fourier transform pair of x2 of omega. Then when we simply multiply the signal in time domain, that means x1 of t multiplied with x2 of t, the corresponding Fourier transform pair is 1 by 2 pi x1 of omega convolution with x2 of omega. So the multiplication is there in time domain, so that correspondingly there is a convolution in the frequency domain, So that means what? The Fourier transform of x1 of t multiplied with x2 of t is equal to 1 by 2 pi x1 omega convolution with x2 omega. That means what? The inverse Fourier transform of this one will give you this one. The inverse Fourier transform of 1 by 2 pi x1 of omega convolution with x2 of omega will give you the x1 of t multiplied with x2 of t. So now we'll prove this. So the inverse Fourier transform of this one we will take now, then correspondingly we'll write the formula. So inverse Fourier transform of 1 by 2 pi x1 of omega convolution with x2 of omega. Okay, so now what is the inverse Fourier transform of this one? Okay, so this entire thing will assume like a single representation as a x of omega. If that is the case, how we'll be applying the formula? That is 1 by 2 pi integration minus infinity to plus infinite, and then x of omega e power j omega t d omega. So then 1 by 2 pi, again what is x of omega? The entire representation. So minus infinity to plus infinite, 1 by 2 pi x1 of omega convolution with x2 of omega, x2 of omega e power j omega t d omega. This 1 by 2 pi is the constant that we can take out. Okay, 1 by 2 pi whole square integral minus infinity to plus infinite x1 of omega convolution with x2 of omega e power j omega t d omega. So now this is the convolution formula. So again, we'll apply the convolution formula for this one, x1 of omega and x2 of omega. We see here, if x1 of t and x2 of t is there, for example, we'll apply the convolution formula like this, minus infinity to plus infinite, x of x1 of tau, x2 of t minus tau, d tau. This is the basic formula for convolution. Okay, so minus infinity to plus infinite, x1 of tau, and then x2 of t minus tau, d tau. So instead of t, here omega is there. Instead of t, here omega is there. And also we may use some new variable because we are in frequency domain. So we may use some new variable. That means instead of tau, let us use lambda. Instead of tau, let us use lambda. And also you are in frequency domain. If you are in time domain, you will be getting t minus tau. As you are in the frequency domain, you will be getting omega minus lambda. So tau will be replaced by lambda, and then as it is omega, you will be getting omega minus lambda. So the same convolution formula I am applying in the frequency domain. So that is 1 by 2 pi whole square integration minus infinity to plus infinite. Again integration, this second integration comes from the convolution. Okay, x1 of lambda, x2 of omega minus lambda. Okay, omega minus lambda, and then e power j omega t. Okay, e power j omega t will be there, d omega will be there, and also you will be getting one d omega from this. Okay. Sorry, in time domain we are getting d tau. So similarly in the frequency domain, instead of tau we are using lambda. So we'll be getting d lambda from this. Okay, so again before this we'll be getting d lambda. Okay, d lambda. Then e power j omega t, already d omega is there. So now we'll try to separate this. Okay, we'll try to separate this. So 1 by 2 pi whole square integral minus infinity to plus infinite x1 of x1 lambda. Okay, x1 lambda, and then x2 omega minus lambda is there. Okay, x2 omega minus lambda. So that we'll try to bring omega minus lambda in the e power terms so that we can easily separate and we can write the Fourier transform formula, Fourier transform formula. So we have to introduce e power j lambda t. So what we are going to do, so already x2 omega minus lambda is there. Okay, d lambda. Now I am going to introduce a new term. Okay, so e power j lambda t. So e power minus j lambda t, and again the rest of the thing is same, e power j omega t d omega. Okay, so now if you combine this with this, you will be getting e power j omega minus lambda into t. Okay, e power minus j omega minus lambda into t, and also this e power j omega t you can combine with this one. Okay, say now I can split like this. So 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinite x1 of lambda, this e power x1 of lambda and this e power j lambda t, and then I am taking another 1 by 2 pi here. I am taking another 1 by 2 pi here integral. Okay, because there are two integral. Okay, so another integral I am writing here minus infinity to plus infinite x2 of omega minus lambda e power j omega minus lambda, okay, lambda t d omega here d lambda. So now what is the formula? This formula is like a inverse Fourier transform. Okay, this is directly like inverse Fourier transform, but here we are having little bit confusion. So we'll replace this omega minus lambda into a new variable. So replace omega minus lambda into a new variable called beta. Okay, then again lambda, again when omega is variable, again we can consider lambda is like a constant. So d omega is equal to d beta. Okay, and again the limit remains same from minus infinity to plus infinite only. So then 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinite x1 of lambda e power j lambda t d lambda, then 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinite x2 of beta e power j beta t d beta. So if you see carefully, this is the inverse Fourier transform. This is the inverse Fourier transform formula. Again, this is the inverse Fourier transform of x1 of omega, and this is the inverse Fourier transform of x2 of omega, Again, if you have a confusion here, finally you can replace lambda with omega, and also here also you can replace beta with the lambda, so that you'll get like this. Okay, so yes. So this is the inverse Fourier transform formula for x1 of omega. The inverse Fourier transform of x1 of omega is x1 of t. Similarly, the inverse Fourier transform of capital X2 of omega, capital X2 of omega is capital X. So this is X2 of t. So finally, we have proved that convolution in frequency domain is the multiplication in the time domain. So that is finally we have proved 1 by 2 pi. Okay, 1 by 2 pi x1 of omega convolution with x2 of omega is the Fourier transform pair with x1 of t multiplication with the x2 of t. So next, Boswell's theorem or energy density theorem. Boswell's theorem or energy density theorem. Okay, so this Boswell's theorem is stating that the energy or power in the signal remains same whether we represent the signal in time domain or in frequency domain. That means what? If the given signal is the energy signal, the energy present in the time domain is same as what is the energy present in the frequency domain. So just we are representing in different domain, that's it. Okay, we may represent the signal in time domain or we can represent in frequency domain. So that means what? Suppose if x of t is there, we are representing in frequency domain. So we are having some formula to calculate power or energy here. Suppose if it is a power signal, we can calculate the power. If it is energy signal, we can calculate the energy. Then again in omega domain also we are having some formula to calculate the power or energy. So again this power or energy remains same Okay, so we are representing the signal in different domain, but the inherent properties, characteristics of the signal will not vary, whether we represent in time domain or in frequency domain. The power or energy present in the signal is always same. So that relation is given by the Poiseuille's theorem. Okay, so suppose the x of t is there, the Fourier transform pair is x of omega. Then what is the energy in the given signal, that is minus infinite to plus infinite mod x of t square dt. The energy in time domain is given by this formula integration. Then what is the energy in the frequency domain, that is 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinite to plus infinite x of omega whole square d omega. So already we know the Fourier transform pair for the given signal, that we know x of t as well as x of omega. So once if you know x of t, you can calculate the energy in the signal with help of this formula. Similarly, once if you know x of omega, you can calculate the energy in the given signal. Finally, we can prove that both are same. So now we'll prove this formula. Okay, integration minus infinity to plus infinite x of t whole square dt. Again, the mod x of t can be written like this: x of t multiplied with the x star of t dt. Okay, x of t, x star of t, we can write like mod x of t whole square. Okay, then integration minus infinity to plus infinite x of t. Then for this x star of t alone, we will apply the inverse Fourier transform. That is, again, first don't worry about the star, but first for x of t, we'll apply the Fourier transform. First for x of t, we'll apply the inverse Fourier transform, that is 1 by 2 pi integration minus infinity to plus infinite x of omega e power j omega t d omega. For that, we'll apply the star, and then finally dt is there. Okay, you take that star inside. Okay, so that this is 1 by 2 pi integration minus infinite to plus infinite x of t integral minus infinite to plus infinite. Okay, x star of omega. Okay, x star of capital X star of omega e power minus j omega t d omega dt. Okay, so this dt we can take it here. Okay, or otherwise this d omega and this integration we can separately write like this. So 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinite to plus infinite x star of omega and then this d omega. Again, this integration minus infinite to plus infinite x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Okay. Then 1 by 2 pi integration minus infinite to plus infinite. Okay, x star of omega d omega. Then what is this overall value? Integration minus infinite to plus infinite x of t e power j omega t dt, that is x of omega. Okay, then if this is x of omega, that we can absorb inside. So 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinite to plus infinite x star of omega d omega, that is 1 by 2 pi integration minus infinite to plus infinite mod x of omega whole square d omega. So that is what finally integration minus infinite to plus infinite mod x of t square dt is equal to 1 by 2 pi integration minus infinite to plus infinite x of omega square d omega. Again, if you see carefully here, this formula is applicable only for energy signal, because for time domain signal we are calculating the energy. Okay, this may not be directly applicable to the power signal. So this formula may be valid only for the energy signal. Next, modulation property. Okay, the modulation is the process of varying any one of the parameter of the signal with respect to another signal. Okay, see, in simple sense, is a process of varying any one of the properties of the signal, any one of the properties of signal, any one of the properties of the signal. What is that one of the properties? It could be like amplitude or time or phase. These are all the properties of the signal. Okay, so it is a process of varying any one of the properties of the signal with respect to the amplitude of the message signal. So simply the message signal is the signal which is having the important information, but the message signal cannot directly go to the longer distance due to some reason, so that we are using the modulation property. That means we will be having a carrier. Okay, so we'll be modulating that carrier with the help of our message signal, so that the message signal sits on that carrier and then it is taken to the receiver side, and from the receiver side the carrier will be removed and then message will be recovered by the receiver. It is something like simply when you want to go to a far places. Okay, so we cannot go by a walk, so definitely we'll be using a bus or flight or something like that. So we are like a information, and bus or flight is like a carrier. So the main aim is we want to go from our place to some other place, to the destination. For that we are using the carrier. Okay, here carrier means it's like a bus or flight, like that. Information is ourself. Okay, so modulation is simply varying any one of the properties of the carrier signal with respect to the amplitude of the message signal. This is the very important basic concept of the communication engineering. So suppose if you have a signal x of t, the Fourier transform pair is x of omega. Fourier transform pair is x of omega. Once if you multiply that signal, your message signal, this is like a message signal with cos omega naught t, okay, with the cos omega naught t, and then what is the assumption here? The omega naught is much greater than the maximum frequency present in your signal. This omega naught, omega m is the maximum frequency present in the signal x of t, where omega naught is the very high frequency. Okay, that is much greater than omega m. So x of t cos omega naught t. Then what is its corresponding Fourier transform pair? Okay, the corresponding Fourier transform pair is 1/2 x of omega minus omega naught plus x of omega plus omega naught. Okay, so that means what? X of t is the time domain signal. For that spectrum is x of omega. When you multiply x of t with the cos omega t, omega naught t in time domain, what is happening? The spectrum and the frequency domain is shifting both right side as well as the left side. Both right side as well as the left side. Now we'll try to prove this. Okay, x of t cos omega naught t. Again, cos omega naught t we can write like e power j omega naught t plus e power minus j omega naught t by 2. Okay, by 2. So 1/2. Again, we know that what is the x of t multiplied with e power j omega naught t, and then what is x of t multiplied with e power minus j omega naught t. So that means what? So in time domain, we are having exponential multiplication, so that we will have a shift in the frequency domain, that is x of omega minus omega naught, and then x of omega plus omega naught. So this we have already seen. Okay, so shifting in the frequency domain is the exponential multiplication in the time domain, so that this is proved. Okay, so then next formula for modulation properties, instead of cos, we may also use sine. So x of t sine omega naught t, sine omega naught t is equal to 1 by 2j x of omega minus omega naught plus x of omega plus omega naught. In proof, x of t sine omega naught t is equal to x of t e power j omega naught t minus e power minus j omega naught t divided by 2j. So 1 by 2j x of omega minus omega naught minus x of omega plus omega naught. So next, area under x of t. Okay, what is the Fourier transform pair formula? X of omega is equal to integration minus infinity to plus infinite x of t e power minus j omega t dt. If we take omega is equal to 0, that means capital X of 0 integral minus infinity to plus infinite x of t dt. That means what? This is the area of x of t. So area under the signal in time domain can also be calculated with the help of x of omega. If you know x of omega expression, in that if you substitute omega is equal to 0, you'll get the area of the signal in the time domain. So indirectly they may ask this question. So they may give x of omega. Again, they will ask what is the area of the signal in time domain. So that means what? Simply you put omega is equal to 0, so that you'll get the area of the signal in the time domain. Again, another one is area under x of omega. Area under x of omega. And what is the inverse Fourier transform formula? Small x of t is equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinite x of omega e power j omega t d omega. Okay, if you substitute t is equal to 0, then this is x of 0, 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinite x of omega d omega. So 2 pi x of 0 equal to minus infinity to plus infinite x of omega d omega. So the area under the spectrum x of omega can also be calculated with this 2 pi into x of 0. So x of 0 means what? For the time domain representation, you put t is equal to 0. So 2 pi x of 0.